the runway or sitting on the runway. These are the latest edition New Era caps that can be found at his establishment. Tell me about this one here, Mr. Bob Middleman, Enlow Shoes.
That's a 1980s helmet hat that was made by the Louisville Cap Company back then. Now at the time, I believe we only had college hats in those. They did make pros. They were foam fronts and mesh backs, and we sold the crap out of them. Of course, after 2 years, Louisville was out of business, and New Era regenerated it this year, and we've got about 15 teams there. I wish I would have brought a picture. They're really neat looking hats.
Well, you're neat looking with that mullet and that pit gear on, man. We're going to talk a lot of pit stuff in a minute, but this is the other one. Tell me about this one. This is just your basic
It's just
Steelers.
a basic Steeler hat. Now that's a satin hat.
Ooh.
That is not wool. That is not cotton. That is real satin.
Smooth. All right.
And it's fitted.
Listen, I want to begin by talking about 1976 and the University of Pittsburgh Panthers, that national championship team. Guys like Matt Cavanaugh, Bob Jury, Jeff Delaney, Randy Holloway, Carson Long. Mr. Tony Dorsett is the biggest name that comes to mind. So just tell me what you remember about that glorious time. And you said moments ago, there's a backstory to it.
Well, we'll talk about the 76 team here, but it all started in 1973 when Coach Majors took over. But we can get into that later because we'll never get to the 76 team if I start that now.
Okay, go. Talk about the 76 team.
76 team, it was just like a Cinderella story. We opened the season against Notre Dame. We were ranked number 9, and we beat them. You know, the year before, Tony had 303 yards against Notre Dame. And Paul Hornung said he'd jump out of the booth if he got more than 100 yards, and I think he got 180 some. I don't remember all the figures anymore. But the grass was about that high to try and slow them down, but it didn't work. And we beat them, and we went from number 9 to number 3. Now, we just held there, and as teams lost, we moved a little bit. And then Purdue played Michigan, and Purdue stunk. We were at home, and they announced that Purdue had beaten Michigan, and the whole place erupted because we were going to be number 1. And my fellow manager friend, Bill Dombach, grabbed the down marker away from the official, put a 1 on it, and ran back, and just kept running back and forth, waving at number 1. Now, Bill's a minister these days, but Bill would probably still do the same thing.
Oh, good stuff. So Bob Jury, we were just talking about him, off the air, a defensive back who, along with teammate Jeff Delaney, combined for 23 interceptions that season. So a lot of good things on the offense, but the defense looked pretty good too.
The Jury for the defense. We had a great defense. That was what they called him.
That's perfect.
And Bob is still Pitt's all-time leading interception leader. One of the most modest people I've ever met, one of the finest people I've ever met. And finally, he got his just due and was put into the Pitt Football Hall of Fame. And it was just great to see that because nobody deserved it more than Bob did.
How about this? Carson Long, place kicker who accounted for 90 points, became the NCAA's all-time leading kicker with a 27-yard field goal. I mean, come on, man. Let's talk about Carson Long.
He's a dear friend of mine.
Is
In
he?
fact, yes, he is. We talk at least once a week.
What did he do after?
He's retired.
I know. What did he do as far as work?
Well, it was a tough story for him.
But
He got drafted by the Rams.
Right.
What's his name from Elwood City? No,
yeah.
Chuck Knox was a coach,
Right.
And he cut him and kept Tom Dempsey. So Carson got picked up by Buffalo, and he finished the year as their kicker and did a great job. So what happens? They fire the coach, and who do they hire? Chuck Knox. And Chuck Knox brings in Tom Dempsey, and that was the end of Carson's NFL career.
Dempsey, I remember as a kid in New Orleans when he kicked that
63-yard field goal.
I actually watched it happen live.
Did you?
That's how long
I think it was against the Lions, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. All right, let's go to 73. Obviously, that's when
1973, Coach Majors takes over, and they have off-season drills called fourth quarter. And they just beat the daylights out of these guys, ran them to death, wrestled. It was pure hell for those guys. And 45 guys were gone by the time camp started, but they brought in 74 freshmen and 11 JCs. And it really evened out because it would be 30 and 10 or 11. It's 29 and 11 to be right, 40. and a ton of freshmen, guys from all over the place, all over down south. And it just changed the whole complex of the team because, you know, we were big and strong and slow, and, you know, you tried to outmuscle the other teams you played. Well, now we were fast. The linemen probably all lost 30, 40 pounds, and they were quick all of a sudden. And I remember the Notre Dame game, I think we were losing 13-9 going into the fourth quarter. I mean, we ran out of gas because those guys were bigger and stronger. Even the Penn State game, I think Carson kicked a 52-yard field goal right before the half to put us up. But, you know, we ran out of gas. But every year we got a little closer to them. And in '76, we finally beat them. It was just, it felt so good to beat Penn State because they were on top of us. 1965, both teams lost their coaches. Rip Engel retired and Pitt fired John Michael Olson. And Paterno came in and they just kept getting better and better and better. Dave Hart came into Pitt and 1-9, 1-9, 1-9. You know, it went the wrong way and it took us a while to catch up to them.
All right, big win, 76, no doubt. But coming up in our next video, we're going to talk about the dynamic players that were a part of this incredible university in the late 70s and the 80s. Wait till you hear some of these names. Tell them about Enlow Shoes. What's happening? Going out
Enlow Shoes is going out of business. We're shutting down after 71 years. We've got a ton of stuff marked down. Carhartt sweatshirts, which we've got a ton of, and with the temperature out here today, you can use one.
Absolutely.
For 20% off. All the Carhartt jeans, Carhartt pants, Dickie jeans, Dickie pants are 30% off. And we've got tennis shoes from $40 up. We've got a lot of stuff on sale.
Yeah.
You're going to have a hard time coming out of there without spending some money.
But listen, it's all quality stuff, legit. I
No,
mean,
there's no garbage.
I mean, you'll never find sales like this, ever. All right, we're going to come back. Coming up next, some of the legends. The University of Pittsburgh, the 70s, the 80s. My, oh my. Coos Market Black and Gold Sunday Show each and every week at the local news at 11 on KDKA.